All right, let's get right into it. If you're a roofer, you know the feeling. A big storm rolls through and it's like the jackpot. The phone starts ringing off the hook. But what happens when the sun's out and the skies are clear? Well, today we're going to break down how to take a roofing business from being completely at the mercy of the weather to becoming a powerful, year-round success.
And this quote, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? This storm chaser model is so common. I mean, it feels great when the work is pouring in, but you're building a business on a foundation of pure luck. It creates this constant anxiety, just waiting and watching the sky for the next big weather events.
Exactly. This is the million-dollar question, right? When there's no storm on the horizon, the phone just stops ringing. Your crews are sitting around, cash flow dries up, and the stress just skyrockets. This instability is what kills so many great contracting businesses. It's a total feast or famine roller coaster, and honestly, that is no way to build a stable, long-term business.
So this slide just lays it out perfectly. There are really two paths you can take. Over on one side, you've got the storm chaser, always reacting, completely unpredictable. Then on the other side, you've got the market dominator, proactive, consistent, and built for growth no matter what the weather report says. What we're going to do in this explainer is map out the journey from the left side of this screen to the right. Okay, so the very first step on that journey, it's all about winning online before you even knock on a single door. We're talking about your digital curb appeal. And more specifically, we're talking about absolutely dominating something called the local map pack.
Let's just put ourselves in the customer's shoes for a second. Imagine it's 10 o'clock at night and you hear that drip, drip, drip in the living room. What do? You're not looking through the yellow pages, right? You're going to grab the closest device you can find.
And you're going to type something almost exactly like this into Google. Roofer near me, local roof repair, emergency roofer. This little search bar, that is the new front door for your business. It is the single moment of highest intent, where a customer with a real problem is actively searching for the solution that you provide.
And this is where that search leads them, the Google Map Pack. It's those top 3 businesses you see right there with the map. Now, the thing about this slide is the harsh reality it's pointing out. If your business is not in this little 3-pack, then for the vast majority of your potential customers, you are, for all practical purposes, completely invisible. So how do you get into that box? Well, it's not about those fuzzy vanity metrics like likes or impressions. That stuff doesn't pay the bills. It really just boils down to these 3 things. First, your local visibility score, basically how well optimizes your online profile. Second, your lead and call volume. Are actual human beings contacting you? And third, your cost per qualified lead. Are you getting those customers efficiently? Everything else is just noise. Okay, so let's move on to the next critical piece of the puzzle. Once somebody finds you in that map pack and they click, they land on your website. And you know what? That website has one job, and one job only. See, your website can't just be a pretty online brochure. That's what we call a digital business card. It looks nice, sure, but it doesn't do anything. What you need is a tradesman lead machine, a website that is engineered from the ground up for one single purpose, to turn that click into a phone call from a paying customer. And building that machine really comes down to these 3 essentials. First, it has to be fast. A customer with a leaking roof is not going to wait around for a slow site to load. Second, it has to be clear, with big, obvious call now buttons. And third, it's got to be consistent. Let's dig into that last one for a second.
So, NAP consistency. It sounds technical, but it's super simple. It just stands for name, address, and phone number. See, Google's entire algorithm is built on trust. And if it sees your business name, address, and phone number listed exactly the same way, down to the comma, everywhere online, it trusts that you're a real, stable business. And that trust translates directly into higher rankings for you.
Okay, so your digital foundation is solid. Now it's time to build the actual structure on top of it. This part is about more than just getting found. It's about being seen as the absolute go-to expert in your local area. And how do you do that? You create content that genuinely helps people by answering the real-world questions they're already asking. Think about it. Put up a simple article on your website, how to spot hail damage from the ground. Or maybe a list of 5 reasons metal roofing is great for high winds. You're not selling, you're just educating. And that right there, that's the whole goal. Because when you consistently provide that kind of value, when you answer questions without asking for anything in return, the entire relationship shifts. You're not just another contractor putting in a bid anymore. You become the trusted advisor that people look to for guidance. All right, so let's tie all of this together. How do we take all these pieces and actually build a repeatable blueprint for stable, year-round growth?
One that finally gets you away from just checking the weather forecast all the time.
It really starts with a foundation of trust, and that foundation is built on what the source material calls the YSIWG promise. What you see is what you get. For a roofer, this means no hidden fees, no confusing industry jargon, and totally clear, transparent reporting on your marketing.
And this slide shows that clarity perfectly. You have to forget about those old, confusing marketing reports, filled with terms like bounce rates. I mean, what does that even mean for your bottom line? Nothing. You need ROI reporting. Simple questions that get simple answers. How many calls did we generate? And what did each of those qualified calls cost us? That's data you can actually use.
And that brings us right back to our two paths, but now with a whole new perspective. You see, for the storm chaser, marketing is just an overhead expense. It's money that's spent, and it's just gone. But for the market dominator, marketing is an investment. Every piece of content, every good review, every single online listing, it all builds real, tangible equity in your brand. It becomes an asset that works for you 24/7. So the crucial question I want to leave you with is this. Take an honest look at your own efforts right now. Is your marketing just a gamble on the next forecast, a cost that disappears the moment you stop paying for it? Or is it strategically building a valuable, long-term asset that's going to generate leads for your business for years to come, rain or shine?